the crypto jungle. My name is Baloo the Bear, and here on the channel I try to keep crypto simple. We look at the price in the context of volume using the Wyckoff method. We also take a little look at the fundamentals to see if you're buying something that's in it for the short term or something that's in it for the long term. So in today's video, I want to take a look at Bitcoin. We just had our daily candle close. I want to see what's going on with Bitcoin. I want to see what's going on with Bitcoin dominance. I want to take a look at the total market cap, and then we're going to take a look at some of those higher market cap altcoins, and then we'll take a look at the shit coins you want to take a look at. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the king of all crypto, and that is Bitcoin. The music's a bit loud, kind of overpowering the voice. All right, let's drop that down. Let's drop that down. Just added some tunes, added some, different things to the stream. So want to make sure that all the levels are good. So if any of the levels are out of whack, if you could let me know, that would be much appreciated. Thank you very much. All right, so how's the levels there? We good on the music? Much better? Perfect. Awesome. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. So we just got our daily close. We're kind of in this general area right here. We're trying to, head on to higher levels. We're in our backup phase. This is where the bulls and the bears are often going to fight. So we're just trying to consolidate and resolve one way or the other, whether we head up or down. We're going to choose a direction. I am leaning bullish. I am very bullish on the market overall. A lot of FUD going on. Anytime, there's nothing like a change in price to change the sentiment in the space, but nothing has changed for me from the fundamentals. Nothing has changed for me in the technicals. We are in a up-only environment, so if you don't have your bags packed, if you don't have your portfolio set, then what are you waiting for? Hit the books, get ready, because this is looking really, really good overall. We're at the later stages of a reaccumulation after decline. Reaccumulation after decline always starts with a local distribution. So we had our distribution back in this area right here. Let me let's make that a nicer color. And then we came down for our seller's climax, automatic rally, secondary test, accumulation for a good amount of time. How long did we accumulate here? We have been in accumulation for approximately 168 days, 170 days, somewhere around there. So plenty of accumulation. We are heading up into the markup phase right now, and things are looking really, really good. If we take a look at Bitcoin dominance is falling. This is what you want to see. If Bitcoin is holding true or increasing in value while Bitcoin dominance is falling, that's very, very good for the altcoins. So, the altcoin space seems to be where all of the action is. It's where retail kind of hangs their hat for the most part. When you're in the later stages of a bull market, it's very much so about the altcoins, but when that bear market comes, you'll see what happens to these altcoins. All right. Music might actually still be a little bit loud. Let's go ahead and adjust that just for you, DC77. Let's make it a 15. Let's do 14. 12. I like 12. Let's go with 12. Free days, we will cover your favorite shitcoin. Absolutely, absolutely. Raise the mic a bit. I don't want my mic to be too hot. I can heat it up a little bit. Test, 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 test. Thank you guys. You are the best feedback that I can get. I can make replays. I can try and do it by myself, but honestly, the best feedback that I get for the levels is from you guys. So thank you very much. So Bitcoin dominance heading to the downside. This is exactly what we want to see. We want to see us, we might encounter a little bit of resistance in this area right here, a little bit of a slowdown, but the true altcoin season will begin when we break below 40%. That is the magic number. That is the number that I personally am waiting to get really, really bullish. A break below 40 and everything is going to go up only. It's going to be very, very silly. Now, how low we go, you know, that's a very difficult question to ask. I'd be looking at about 30% Bitcoin dominance. I find it hard to believe that we can get lower than 30%, but you never know. We could be looking at 25% Bitcoin dominance for the conclusion of the altcoin cycle. Over time, that will go down as the overall market develops and there's more and more coins brought into the ecosystem. And there's less and less market cap or market share going towards Bitcoin. But overall, you know, this is still a good metric to use in terms of the health of the altcoin space. But we're still seeing a lot of really good health in the altcoin space in general. We can take a look at total market cap. We're just hugging this regression band right at the lower end of this channel. If we can get a break above this, that's going to be a really clean sign that we're in for some higher levels. But as we are underneath it for now, it is still acting as resistance. So we do have some resistance in the charts overall. But you know, going back to Bitcoin and taking a look, you know, as long as we can keep ticking to the upside and get out of this general range of resistance, we're going to get a heck of a lot of permission to appreciate in value in the altcoin space. So things are looking good overall. Don't let the FUD scare you. Everybody's talking about Evergrande and Tether and all this bull crap. You know, I don't care. The price will tell me exactly where the problems lie, and there are no problems in the charts, so just focus on the important stuff. Taking a look at Ethereum, again, hugging this upwards resistance. We can see a very clear line of resistance. This is very strange and tight price action that's showing a coiling up in Ethereum that has an upward trajectory. This is looking really, really bullish for Ethereum. I wouldn't be surprised to see a breakout in Ethereum in the coming days, possibly a week. Yeah, the fundamentals. So if you're unfamiliar with some of these really innovative projects like Tokamak, Alchemex, Olympus DAO, there's kind of a new wave of innovation coming into the DeFi sector, and we're of course going to see copycats of all of that innovation on the other side chains as well. But the innovation always starts with Ethereum, so Ethereum is ready for some price advancement. Okay, let's catch up with the chat here. 12 is good, awesome. When do you think the cycle will top out? Well, there's a couple things that I'm paying attention to. So let's actually just, let's go to index on Bitcoin. And what I want to do is I'm actually going to, basically what I would be looking for is a topping out somewhere in the red band. So we haven't reached the red band just yet with Bitcoin. Bitcoin still rules the space. So, you know, these price cycle indicators are still really going to come from Bitcoin. So we're still in the middle of the cycle here. I want to see us get an extension up to the top, and that would bring us to around $130,000. I think that would be, you know, a pretty interesting level that would certainly put Bitcoin into the news. Now, the more bullish case, the more bullish scenario that does have a possibility of occurring would be the stock to flow model. So for those familiar with Plan B, he's developed the stock to flow. We can actually put on the stock to flow indicator here. And in previous cycles, we always get an extension to the upper end, this red band. So we got a confluence here with the logarithmic growth and the stock to flow. Stock to flow this cycle would put us at around about $250,000 per Bitcoin. So, you know, the more conservative approach would be that 120, 130 kind of area, and then a more bullish target would be that $250,000, 230, 240. You know, that approach to $250,000 Bitcoin would be that, you know, it would be a huge psychological number if we reached $250,000 per BTC. So those are kind of the areas that I would be looking for the market to get really overheated. Another helpful indicator that can also help you identify market cycle tops and bottoms is the Puel multiple. The Puel multiple. Oh, gotta take one of these down. Let's go with let's take the stock to flow off. Let's slap on the Puel multiple. And the Puel multiple, is going to show you the best times to buy, which are in green here. You can see the correlation with the green. That's at the market cycle bottom, the COVID shakeout, all of these really great areas to accumulate BTC. And then I don't know if you can see it on my screen there, but there are these red areas as well. So anytime the miner profitability becomes 6 times their normal, the miners begin to offload a lot of the holdings of Bitcoin, and it's the miner selling pressure that usually tops out the market there. So another helpful indicator that can help you identify the market cycle tops and bottoms. Yeah, hit the like button if you like it. If you don't hit it. If you dislike it, hit the dislike. Oh, thank you. Thanks for the follow, Congress X. More shit coins, yay. The multicolored volume indicator is called BTC log growth zones. Let's pull it up here in the favorites. Bitcoin logarithmic growth curves and zones. 569 favorites on this one. Very helpful indicator to have to show you, if you want to keep your trading really, really simple and you're kind of a macro guy to begin with, this is really the only indicator that you need. If you accumulate Bitcoin in the green wave and sell it in the red wave, that is a fantastic strategy. Very simple, very achievable. The one thing that people don't like about most trading strategies that are highly effective is the volatility in the green wave might shake people out, and they don't like how patient they need to be. Patience always seems to be a factor with a lot of these strategies. Everybody wants the fast signals that are flashing all the time so that they can feel like a day trader, but honestly, the real money is made in the middle of these macro swings. So, the generational wealth is developed year over year, cycle to cycle. It's not made in the day-to-day, getting chopped up in the day traders delusion. Okay, so let's catch up with the chat. How much do you think a bigger LPS is on the horizon? I am too bullish to be entertaining downside targets. They are a possibility, but what is your strategy? So it's important to realize that technical analysis does not predict anything. It's a way for you to position against the probabilities. So we're up here in a consolidation working past the all-time high. The probability of this local trend is a break to higher levels. There is also a probability that we come down for a retracement. So that's where the strategy comes into plays. What are you going to do? At what levels are you going to become a participant? At what levels do you plan to buy? Are you in? Are you looking to buy at hold lower levels? Do you have a plan to purchase at higher levels if they come? Don't let anybody tell you that they can predict the future. You need to understand that every single one of these candles is the buying and selling of humans. Humans are not predictable. There is some sort of there's a probability that goes along with the trend and behavior of humans, but you can't predict human behavior day to day. So, we're in a consolidation right now. The probability is that we break bullish because there's more people bullish in the space than those who are bearish, but that doesn't mean that we don't have a possibility to come down to lower levels. So some lower levels that I would be looking at would probably be down to this area right here. So, you'd be looking at the $52,000 level, 56. The important thing is to have a plan as to what you're going to do if those levels are reached. How exposed are you at these levels? Do you have cash on the side? Are you waiting to deploy at lower levels? These are the questions you have to ask yourself. If you're all in, all out, all the time, and you think TA is a guide for that, you're sadly mistaken and you're fooling yourself. It's just not how it works. But downside targets, we have a lot of support in this general range. But my bias is that we break bull. So I'm not really entertaining those ideas. And it's just, that's not part of my current strategy. Congress X, what is Ethereum? I hope you're joking. I hope you're trolling me. What is on the screen? It's me. I'm on the screen. The multicolored volume indicator is called VSA. VSA Wyckoff volume. So that's volume spread analysis. This is actually kind of, let's pull it up. Let's make it big so you can see. You know, this is a very helpful volume indicator because it can show you points where there is areas that you should pay attention. So often when you get a purple flash, it's showing you a very high volume event. Those typically happen with these Wyckoff events. So a seller's climax, very often a seller's climax will show up as a purple event. This LPS here also showed up as a purple event. We have a spring, or no, this was a pump out of the spring. So, you know, all of these are going to show you some high volume events. We don't have a ton of trading volume in this general area. So if we get a breakout and it turns purple, you're going to know that that's a high volume event as well. So it's a really helpful indicator. Better than just your standard run-of-the-mill, you know, monochrome or the red and green volume indicator. I've recently switched over to this VSA because it's just a little bit cleaner of a picture showing you the events inside of the consolidation, which is very helpful. Duxor, you're in trouble. Posting links. What is the name of the colored log growth indicator? What it's BTC log curve zones. Yeah, if you I went over it already once before. All right, so let's just take a look at FreeDiz's shitcoin, shall we? Let's take a look at FreeDiz's shitcoin, Saitama Inu. Actually, can you even pull it up? Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. So shout out to FreeDiz. He's in the private VIP group. He bought this shitcoin here, Saitama Inu, and he did a 44x. So congratulations on your first 44x. Incredible trade, my friend. Kudos to you for jumping in and having the balls to buy that shitcoin. But you're more than happy to be the recipient of that one. Let's see if we can find I guess this is the longest one. It's a weird chart. You know, how do you chart this shit? I have no idea. I have no idea how you would chart anything like this. But anyways, he made a 44x on it, so congratulations. Hitty, what do you guys think about BTC for the next few hours? We're not day traders, so you know you can lean on the opinions of those in the chat, but the next few hours, like, what's the point? What are you trying to achieve in the next few hours? There's plenty of other places that try to attempt to be day traders. I don't trade the hourly, my friend. Daily and above. The reason being is you have a statistical disadvantage on the lower time frames. You're up against arbitrage traders, you're up against quant traders, you're up against trading bots, you're up against so many algorithmically based trading strategies that are designed to just take profits at 0.4%. You're in it for, you know, 10, 20%, 30%. It's just not going to happen. So, you know, you're in the small time frames where there's a ton of chop, and it's all algorithmically driven chop because of arbitrage traders and quant traders. Like, good fucking luck. It's just, you have a complete disadvantage in those time frames. The retail investor should stick to higher time frames because that's where they have the advantage. You have the advantage to come in and out of assets without being noticed. You don't show up in the order books. You don't show up in the volume profile, and you have the advantage. Bullish bias. That's all I got. Bullish bias. Yeah, I'm not going to pull up Dex tools. But congrats. Okay, so aren't most traders these days algos? So maybe it is predictable? No. You're never going to be able to predict the movings of the market. At the moment that the market is predictable is the moment that the predictions can be gamed. So it doesn't work. Okay, missed the start, may have covered gaming. You nailed Axie months ago. Are you keyed in on gaming plus meta? So I think the I think the gaming sector is overheated, over-diluted, and overvalued. You know, I nailed Axie because the whole sector was undervalued. Nobody was talking about gaming until Axie came around. Crypto moves in bubbles, okay? The gaming and metaverse bubble is fucking done, man. It's done. It's done. Like, you might be able to find some pump and dumps. You might be able to find some stuff that pops off here and there. And honestly, I think the next time the metaverse stuff will really take off is when Axie starts going again. It's all cyclical. You have this rotation of funds. You have this diversion of attention. And metaverse, for me, you know, the play was Axie. If you didn't get Axie, everybody's trying to find Axie. You're not going to find another Axie, not this cycle, because Axie was born out of the bear market. Axie was not born in a bull market. And there's a very big difference to how the life expectancy of a project is given the context of the price cycle. And I don't think we're going to find another Axie this cycle. We're just not. What I do think is priming to be the next bubble is actually DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations. Now, these are not very friendly for trading because they're all, they really don't have anything to do with charts or analysis, but we can go ahead and take a look at one of my favorites, and that is Olympus DAO. So I originally got into this one thinking that it was a little scammy because the return, the APY, the annual percentage yield of the token itself was about 8,000%. So I was like, well, that's clearly not sustainable. So this is a scam. But there's a lot of DAOs popping up. So, you know, Olympus DAO, Time, Wonderland, a lot of people are in that. I'm not in that one because I'm just not a part of the Avalanche ecosystem. And Climate DAO, which is trying to do carbon sequestering. And then I'm trying to work through Temple DAO, which is an incredibly annoying protocol to become a participant in, and that's kind of by design. They make Temple DAO very hard to enter, very hard to exit, so that you're sheltered from volatility. But you know, these DAOs are really impressing me because what they're doing is they're creating a lot of power. They're creating a lot of power in the space of DeFi. One of the biggest things that, you know, people don't understand about decentralized finance is the need for liquidity. Liquidity, like cash, piles of cash. You need to have a market maker on the other side of everybody who is trying to, you know, trade with these DEXs. So the market making in DeFi right now, it's all community based, meaning that if I have a pile of USDC or if I have a pile of DAI, you know, I need to go to a protocol like Uniswap or SushiSwap, and I need to provide liquidity for them. What the DAOs are doing is they're trying to create these really robust treasuries where liquidity goes in and it doesn't fucking go out. It doesn't leave. That's a really profound thing because now we have one of the strongest market makers in the history of the world organized through the power of a DAO. And, you know, you can be the beneficiary as long as you're going to be a long-term holder of the project. All of these kinds of structures are really focused on time. You need to be a long-term investor to reap any benefits. So they're interesting protocols. Please do your own research. I have actually linked in the show notes 3 different DAOs. You can go and check out their Git book, you know, white paper, their explanatory documentation that can kind of explain deeper as to what makes these things unique. But since, you know, Olympus DAO came out in March, it's been a really incredible project. Now it is looking as though it could come down to some lower levels, so I'd be looking at around the $600 level. To, if you are interested in taking a position in something like this, I'd be looking at around, you know, the previous high back here at around $600. Could go a little bit less. The intrinsic value of Ohm right now is about $160 and it's trading at $878. So, you know, there's a divergence with its intrinsic value. But yeah, this is, I think the DAOs are going to be the next bubble. I don't think it's going to be Metaverse. I don't think it's going to be gaming. I think that space is too diluted and there's too many coins in Metaverse. Like, fuck, everybody who has a game trailer has become a millionaire, and it's funny money. What's long-term for me? In terms of DAO, so, you know, it's going to depend a lot on the price action, but I'm invested in Ohm till the next cycle. So I'm looking at least, you know, 5, 6, 7 years. for this one to really kind of mature, because that's how this game theory kind of works. The way Olympus works here, I'm going to draw you a little picture. So as people come in and as people sell bonds to the treasury, you know, the intrinsic value of the treasury grows. So you have like the real value of the treasury right here. But then you have price, and price will just kind of bop along the intrinsic value and grow over time while you are receiving a yield. Now the yield that they're giving you is like ridiculous right now. It's like 8,000%. But you need to keep into consideration that that's also the inflation rate. So the inflation rate is whittling away your profits. You know, as it keeps inflating, the price of the token goes down and down and down. That's probably what's occurring right now. We're going down because there's no new funds coming in. There's no new bonds being bought. And the inflation rate is driving the price down. That gets to the point where some people begin to jump ship and they go for a bank run and they don't want to become a participant anymore, and you get a capitulation event. So you get a capitulation down into the intrinsic value. That's the best place to kind of look to add to positions. You know, if we head down below 600 bucks, I'll be certainly adding to the position. But yeah, it's a weird one, and it does rely heavily on time. So you know, these other ones, these forks, these clones, these copycats, I don't have a 5-year parameter. Like, I wouldn't be holding time for 5 years. I wouldn't be holding Temple DAO for that long. There's a huge advantage to the first movers. These are network effects. When somebody comes up with something new and exciting, those ones do the best for the longest amount of time. Those ones have the greatest network effects. Olympus was the first one to organize a DAO to own its own liquidity. And that's a really profound concept that I think is going to hold Olympus's value very long term. Olympus is a base currency on SushiSwap. It's, you know, they're making some really good moves in the ecosystem, and they're a very well organized and connected organization. So anyways, do your own research. There's a lot of risk with this stuff, and it's really hard to chart. I can't really, you know, do appropriate metrics because there's too many variables pushing and pulling on the price. So let's catch up with the chat here. I've been hearing about Ohm in a bunch of Telegram/Discord chats. Any thoughts about the privacy-based bubble? I think that, you know, a lot of there might be a privacy coin bubble. I don't see any inklings of that occurring. I don't see any precursors of that occurring. Bitcoin is also having its Taproot fork this month. It's going to be, you know, a well accepted fork, so you're going to have the community implement Taproot without you know, drama like there was with Bitcoin Cash back in 2017. So, you know, it's I don't see it. What Taproot brings is privacy. Taproot brings more anonymity to the Bitcoin blockchain. So a lot of these privacy coins, these older privacy coins, they're really going to have to prove themselves as being able to hold up against the amount of privacy that Bitcoin offers. So, you know, privacy is always important, but I don't see the precursor of a bubble forming. Still finishing 2021 or extended run into 2022. So Spaceboot 99. I'm still allowing price to make those decisions for me. So basically, you know, if we moonshot, time is really hard to quantify. It's one of the hardest variables that you can quantify in any of your analysis is time. I think that if we are up at around $120,000 by the end of the year, the cycle will be short. I think that we're not going to go into the next year. I don't think we're going to go into 2022 if we're reaching those levels that quickly. And if we go beyond those levels, then yes, even sooner. It's really going to be dependent upon price action. So I've got this red line marking the end of the year here. You know, if we just kind of tick to the upside, oops. Let's get my pen tool back. If we just like tick to the upside, then yeah, we're going to have a bull run that extends into the new year. And, you know, if it just keeps its steady pace, we're talking Q1, possibly going into Q2. But if we just go freaking parabolic, we're done. Like, we're getting close to the end. It's time to take profits. It's time to be aggressive. It's no time to be investing in new projects. We're going to be done. So I'm leaning towards this as the outcome. So I would not be surprised to see this cycle end by the end of the year. But again, it all falls on the shoulder of price action. I need to see what the price is doing for me to make these types of decisions. So you have to watch these things in real time. If we start shooting up, then you got to start getting worried. If we just make steady gains, if Bitcoin just keeps making steady gains and the altcoins follow suit, we're in a very healthy space that is primed for healthy and steady and sustainable price appreciation. But if we go full bull, it's going to be quick and fast, in my opinion. Hi, Blue. I know you're not a big fan. You're not big on pattern trading, but are you familiar with Bukowski's bump and run reversal? If so, could we be in one? Lead in phase. Yeah. So the bump and run was actually my Axie setup, believe it or not. Let's actually pull up Axie. AXS. Let's pull up Axie. Man, I can't believe that was one of my luckier entries this year. Just, typically when I take an entry, it takes time to mature, it takes time to develop, it takes time before it really starts to take off. But I took an entry in Axie and then it just fucking did this. So that was definitely a luck on my side with that one. But let's go to the bump and run that got me interested in Axie to begin with. So the bump and run, and it's not that I don't like patterns, it's just that I find people are too strict with patterns and they're not really identifying the key support and resistance areas first. And they just, they see a head and shoulders, they slap a triangle anywhere and they say it's going to break bullish. So, patterns have their place, but they're often interpretations of support and resistance. So right here, very well established line of resistance. Okay. This is the precursor of a bump and run. Resistance, 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 capitulation, that's the bump, and then you break out. You break out and break the resistance. This is a bump and run pattern. So just this really flat line of resistance, a capitulation that recovers and breaks the resistance upon reaching it again. Typical bump and run. Took my freaking position right here. Beautiful. $5. $5. Fantastic. Anyways, not to gloat, but let's go back and take a look at BTC USD. And let's see what we got for a bump and run. It's not how I would typically look at for a bump and run. What were the dates you noted? Starting from 29K July 20th low. The only thing kind of like a bump and run is, yeah, no, I'm not really seeing the bump and run, at least not how I was taught the bump and run. So no, not really seeing. Oh, a bearish bump and run. So I actually don't know what a bearish bump and run looks like. Bearish bump and run. From the low, starting from the low of the 29th, or the 29K. I don't know, man. I'm not looking at anything bearish right now. We are bullish. We're bullish. I'm blindly bullish right now, just because of the accumulation, because of the price structure, the bull flag here, the consolidation break. Yes, a little bit of a rejection, but that's because there's too many degenerate, over leveraged traders in the space. We got to shake them out. We're not allowed to go to the moon when you hold leverage. If you hold leverage, you're holding us back. We're not allowed to go to the moon with leverage. The exchanges won't allow it. The market makers won't allow it. If you're holding high amounts of leverage, we're not going anywhere. Stream got a little laggy a minute ago, but now it's fine. I have a wired connection. Can you believe it? So any faultiness in the stream is strictly up to my machine, which is I thought a good machine, but I guess not. Let's see how much time we got. We got a few minutes here. Do you think Oracle/database cryptos will trend? I think they will eventually. I don't think that there's enough demand for them currently. You know, these data and privacy, it's not a retail narrative that many retailers get behind. You know, it's really important. You know, data securement and longevity of data storage, these are all really, really good applications of blockchain. The problem is retail's too busy buying dog coins and cum rockets and shit for them to really care about the stuff that's kind of exciting. I think they will have their time and their place. It's going to, the biggest demand for those types of tokens is going to come from the developers. So we have a lot of developers in the space, but they're actually not as many as we need. We need a lot more developers in the space, and they will come. The development in blockchain is pretty slow, and these devs are working as hard as they can, and there's just not enough of them. Eventually, we're going to have a really big just flood of development come in, and these developers are going to be required to buy and stake and run nodes for these Oracle projects, and then the demand for that stuff is really going to ramp up. So 100% I think that these data driven protocols are going to have their day in the sun. I just don't see it in the short to medium term. At least I'm not seeing any sort of tickles of that. Let's take a look at Chainlink just for shits and giggles here. Chainlink broke the downward sloping line of resistance. Looks as though we are getting ready to kind of break past this resistance here. Let's take a look. All right, let's put a channel on there. Let's yeah, let's go with that. A lot of selling pressure locally. Could just be absorbed. I like where the RSI is. I like that we're ticking up above the 60. We're holding above the 60. Chainlink looks like it wants to go. Chainlink looks like it could go. There's still a few sellers offloading shares right now, but that could be interpreted as absorption. I think if we can get a clean break above this level of the previous up thrust right here at the resistance line, so we'd be looking at 36.35. Get a clean break above 36.35 on volume with some daily candle closes, and I think we'd be off to the races in Chainlink. You know, there's speculation. People know that we need Chainlink for Oracle data, so you know there's speculative demand here. There's just not the level of intrinsic demand that would match the price for this kind of stuff. At least in my uneducated blockchain development brain, I'm not seeing the same demand that correlates with the market cap. But hey, I could be wrong because I am not a developer. Alpha. Let's take a look at Alpha. Support line at the bottom. Yeah, Alpha. Alpha Finance. Nice tight accumulation. Nice tight accumulation after decline. Let's take a look at the technicals, and then I'm not familiar with Alpha, so let's go take a look at the fundamentals as well. My brief fundamentals. Sometimes I do the fundamentals and I just look like a moron because, you know, I'm not prepared on a live stream to just get a face value interpretation of what's going on. And then other times I like it. So, you know, realize that these things are looked at live in real time, and you know, I'm wrong sometimes. I have to go back. In fact, a few streams ago, I looked at Ohm live on stream and I was like, oh yeah, this is a scam. It's a scam coin. It's a scam. You know, scams make money. Go ahead and play. And I took a deeper dive off camera, off the stream, and I just fell down a rabbit hole and realized how powerful a freaking treasury, the concept of treasury owned liquidity is, and fell in love with Ohm protocol. Fell in love with it. Bullish divergence occurring. I would be looking right here in the RSI. We got to get a break just right here. right here in the RSI. If you can get a break above the RSI, that should correlate with a break in the price action. Get that break above dollar, we'll call it $1.25, and then a true break above $1.50 would be a confirmation of this bullish trend. What does Alpha Finance do? Let's actually pull up a tab here. Alpha Finance, it's at a $5 million market cap, $36 million of trading volume. So that is the bare minimum of what I consider high volume. Alpha Finance is a DeFi lab on the mission to build the Alpha Universe. The Alpha Universe includes an alpha ecosystem which consists of the alpha products and that interoperate to maximize return while minimizing risk to the users. All very nice things to say. Total value locked is $1 billion. Total alpha stake 242 million, worth about $290 million. Okay, so alpha's kind of near a buck. Alpha products, Alpha X, trade derivatives. Leverage up to 10x. So it looks like their focus is really on derivatives. What is this coin? What ecosystem is this coin? It's on Ethereum. All right, but there doesn't seem to be an application just yet, so it's probably kind of early days. It looks like you can stake it, obviously, but I'm not sure what their... Oh, there are some apps. Okay, so let's take a look at a few apps. 10x yield. All right, well, I'm not gonna connect to shit while I'm live on stream. Anyways. Chart looks good, my friend. Chart looks good. You know, everything looks good. Just watch that RSI, watch that break here, and I think we can confirm to some higher levels here. Demand kind of moderate, but increasing, which is good. We're seeing volume trading activity increase, getting to that point where the order books start to become thinner and thinner, which is good. Woo is still on the small side for DEX. Woo is not a decentralized exchange, but we can take a look at Woo. Woo is actually another one that us in the group have been holding for a while. I think we originally posted the setup on Woo at 30 cents. At $1.50 right now. We originally posted Woo. Yeah, right here at the break of the consolidation at 37 cents. We've been riding this one. It's been choppy, it's been nasty, but we finally got a break of the downward sloping line of resistance. And then since we broke that level, we've been ticking to the upside, looking really good on Woo. So Woo's in a very healthy trend, very healthy continuation pattern. We're just overtake resistance after resistance, come back down and test support. Woo's looking good. Thoughts on Phantom, Matic, and 0x. I think a lot of the layer 2s are going to be doing well in the coming months. Ethereum gas fees, whoo, are they nasty? They are nasty. I think I just did a swap today for 175 bucks. So, you know, the gas fees are getting pretty yucky. So these layer 2 solutions, specifically the Polygon network, has a lot of DeFi integrations. A lot of these decentralized applications are building on Polygon. So you're getting a price break over there. I think that 0x is not one that has a ton of development, really. Let's see how the 0x chart is doing. in a consolidation pattern, very similar to a lot of the protocols. You know, we had this long accumulation, this long reaccumulation after decline, so we're popping up against that. It's looking good. You know, a lot of these charts are showing promise for continuation, but I don't see 0x pop up a lot. I play with DeFi a lot. I am, you know, playing with a lot of decentralized applications, and I don't see 0x. I don't see that name pop up very often. I don't see Kyber Network pop up very often. I know that they exist and I know that they have products, but they're not integrating. They're not integrating with other applications. So, you know, you need to integrate. We need to build together. We need to create a network of applications that really make a sound and robust banking system. And the ones that are just doing their own thing and just not organizing well for integration, you know, they're going to be left behind. So 0x, I mean, the chart looks good, but me as an everyday DeFi user, I'm not seeing it pop up very many places. Phantom, starting to see that one pop up a lot more. So I think Phantom could be looking good. Let's take a look at, I mean, Phantom's been doing incredible, even regardless of how integrated it is in DeFi currently. Phantom's been popping up everywhere. It's been popping up everywhere. But the price is already kind of, you know, gone. We've seen a lot of price appreciation in Phantom. You know, the good place to buy, this is what all of the coins right now look like. They look like this area right here, and they're getting ready for their pop before they head into markup. So I think for the most part, I'm not going to be looking at Phantom as an investment because it's extended too high and hasn't really grounded itself and found a really good support. So I think, you know, I'm gonna have to just quietly watch this one from the side. Doesn't mean that I don't think it can't make higher levels. I just think that the risk is a little too high for this to become a part of my portfolio at this point in the game. But I am seeing it pop up in a lot of different places. So do your own research and hedge your own bets. Excuse my clinginess. Would you take a look at QRDO? So this is one that kind of confuses me. QRDO. It's on Bitfinex. I don't know, man. What do you want me to say? What do you want? What do you want? It's let's get a longer listing, I guess. It's doing well. It's doing well. Number go up. A lot of trading volume. It's kind of, you know, we got the take profit signs that are flashing here. We got a take profit here that indicated a decline. We got a take profit right here. Do we get a decline? I don't know. We're still above the 70 EMA, so it's looking all right in the short term. But, you know, it's starting to go parabolic. I don't know what you want me to say here. There's no safe entry at this general range. There's, you know, a safe, you got to plant the seeds in the earth, and the earth has to be flat. You know, plant the seeds in the flat earth. Okay, and then when your seeds grow into something, when your seeds grow into a nice tree, when your seeds grow into a tree, you harvest it. Sideways, harvest vertical, and you'll always be fine in this market. Seems like DeFi dinosaurs are a problem to invest in, i.e. they lag against newbies, so hard to get in with into the new winners. Not sure if I follow, man. Okay, I got a few minutes. We got a few good requests here. Yeah, 175, yeah. For a freaking swap. Swap on Sushi Swap. Flat Earth. You gotta plant the seeds in that flat Earth. Meta Hero, no, I'm not gonna look at that. Have you looked into Altcoin? Nah. USA approved crypto bank. Ugh, that just made my mouth feel yucky. Yeah, let's take a look at Mana. So Decentraland, for me, I don't, the mana token is the currency of Decentraland. So what is your goal? What is your goal with Decentraland? I think the play is buying land. Buying the currency. Yeah, the currency is marking up. We're seeing, continuation. This is a bull flag. It looks like the bull flag wants to break bullish. So it's looking like a continuation. I wouldn't be surprised to see this, go up to $6 or something silly. But the currency doesn't matter. The mana currency doesn't matter. What matters in Decentraland is the land, the NFTs. So this price, the price of this asset will be all over the fucking map. It'll be everywhere. Because what is the intrinsic value? I'm only using it. Its only real use is to go and buy land, at least right now. There's not enough of a Decentraland economy outside of NFT sales. So it begs the question, what's the intrinsic value of something like this? And the market participants will have a stab at figuring that out. But, if I want exposure to Decentraland, I'm going to gain exposure to Decentraland by buying land. In fact, I will be buying land. I actually plan to buy land and open up a traders academy, a school in the Metaverse, so that you can go and attend courses in the Metaverse. So that is a plan for the channel. That's a plan for my, the future of this business. But, the token, I've been on that platform enough times to not really know what the economy for the token is outside of just purchasing NFTs. So what that means to me is when I'm ready to buy an NFT, I swap my ETH for mana, I take my mana, I buy an NFT. I don't care if the price of mana is $100. I don't care if the price of mana is a penny. I'm doing the exact same thing in the exact same order. So, we'll see. It's a bull flag. We're breaking bullish. Just broke the downward sloping line of resistance. There's some momentum here, and we've got some room in the RSI to get overheated again. So yeah, I could see us going up to some higher levels. I mean, Sushi, Uni, they're flat against new DeFi, correct. There's no new automated market makers yet, though. So, a lot of these DeFi 2.0 protocols, they're doing a lot of communication with Sushi. I think, Uniswap was DeFi 1.0, and I think SushiSwap's DeFi 2.0. Has it showed us in the price yet? No, I've been banging on about Sushi for a while. Doesn't matter. The market participants are the market participants, and Sushi has not gone anywhere. So, we're still waiting on that one. Bitcoin is approaching black hole status. It will eventually suck in everything. I think, in terms of currency, you're right. We have a whole foreign exchange market that's just a ton of value that does nothing except trade against other currencies. So, we're ready to swallow some shit up. All right. Any thoughts on Mask? I think it's a really cool job. It's a really cool idea, being able to interact with these applications that have privacy concerns like Facebook, and you being able to wear a mask and hide your identity in Facebook. It's a cool idea. Don't know what the coin's going to do. All right, so that's pretty much all the time I have for today. If you guys enjoyed this content, leave it a like. If you loved it, subscribe or follow me on Twitch. And if you didn't like it, hit the dislike button too, because I always get a chuckle when people do that, thinking that it's supposed to hurt me or something. But anyways, please enjoy yourself. Trade safe. It is a jungle out there. Peace.